Step 1, put on your apron and wash your hands. Make sure to use soap. Step 2, we have to get out all of our ingredients. So we have the eggs out, we have the pan out, we'll need the sausage, cheese, and biscuits. We also need milk. So I'm going to talk about the different types of sausages that you can use. This one is a fully cooked, and we know because it says right there, fully cooked. The other type of sausage is the kind that stays refrigerated, and you actually have to heat it up. So this one is not fully cooked, and you have to heat it. So you know if it's not cooked because it'll say things like keep raw meat separate from other foods, cook thoroughly. It'll tell you some directions for it. So this one is raw meat, so we have to cook it on the stove. This one is fully cooked. Fully cooked. So we just have to heat it up in the microwave. Or in our case, we're gonna just put it in the oven with the rest of our. There are a few different ways that you can make the crust of this. One way is with the Pillsbury cans. You just open it up, open the tube up, and unfortunately they don't have gluten-free options in this type of a can or brand. So you can also make them with English muffins and just get gluten-free ones. Those can go in, and then you can just do a vegetarian and completely like no carb one by not using any sort of a base. You would just do the egg, meat, and cheese. So we've washed our hands, we've set out all of our ingredients, we have all the chef tools out, and the first step is to preheat the oven, and we are going to set it at 375. And then when it heats up, it'll ding and let us know. For this video, we're gonna show both types of biscuits. So we'll open the tube as well as open the gluten-free. And you can do gluten-free on the left and the tube biscuits on the right. If you're gonna make your sausage from the tube, then you'll wanna put it in a skillet and turn the heat on medium-high. Do not turn it on high. And remember, you're handling raw meat. So after he puts it on medium-high, he's gonna wash his hands, and then he's gonna wash the stove where he touched, because you can see some raw meat got on the stove. So since it's raw meat, we have to be super careful. So he's using a Clorox wipe, and he's gonna wipe the stove handle so that there are no germs. And another thing that he can do, since he has the wipe out, is wipe his kitchen sink handle too, just for extra cleanliness. When we ground up the sausage, you can use a spatula or the meat chopper. And I love the Pampered Chef one because it gets the pieces really little. So as it starts to heat up, you just start to chop it. It's tricky to do with one hand. And it goes from pink to brown. If you're going with fully cooked sausages, you don't have to handle them as carefully because they're fully cooked. That means it's not raw meat. So I would take as many sausage links out as you want to go in your pan. So if you want 2 links per muffin round, or if you want 1 per muffin round, just take them out, and then we'll heat them in the microwave for 20 seconds just so that we can cut them up. So I heated them up in the microwave for 20 seconds just so they're a little softer, and I will use my adapted cooking knife and just firmly press down to get little chunks. And you can have them be whatever size you want. Some people like the big meaty chunks, other people like the really teeny bite-sized chunks, so it's completely up to you. And then once we cut them all up, we'll be able to put them in the cups. So we have a variety of options. We have the stovetop sausage that you cook from raw meat. We have the Jimmy Dean sausage that was frozen, already cooked. We just microwaved it. You can also do meatless options. So they're plant-based crumbles. They have different varieties. Or you could use ground turkey, turkey sausage. So just pick whatever is gonna work best for your diet and what you're interested in. Now we're gonna crack 6 eggs, and they'll be just whole eggs, and then 3 egg whites. So to crack an egg, tap it on the counter, dump it in. We've practiced this skill and you can put it right back in the box. And to do an egg white, you're gonna crack it the same way. Use your thumbs to carefully open it, but don't let the yellow come out. So you're just gonna pour out the white part, and then you can crack it all the way and let the yolk go between the 2 shells. Like you're playing a game with them. Whoop, and let the white go out, yeah. And then the yellow will discard. So the mixture has 6 eggs that are full and 3 only egg whites. That means no yellow yolk. After you handle eggs, you have to wash your hands because egg yolk is like raw meat and it has germs when it's not cooked. So now he's gonna add a splash of milk, and we'll show you what a splash looks like. Stop. Just like that, a little splash. It was like a 1-second drip in, and then he'll use his whisk. And all of the eggs will be stirred together, and the full yolks will be broken by the whisk until it becomes one clear, consistent yellow mixture. So now the eggs are completely mixed. Looks great. We've picked a bowl that has a pour spout. This is really helpful when dealing with the pans. And for this demonstration, we did the English muffins. This is a whole one, and that's a half one, and they're gluten-free. And then we did the regular biscuits from the can or roll. And then these ones are not gonna have any carb in it. They're just gonna be grain-free. And the next step will be to add any ingredients that you want on top. So if you wanted to do sausage, if you have some cut up vegetables, which are really healthy, you can add vegetables into it, but you'll just take the meat that you want and add it in. And then you'll add any cheese, or like I said, vegetables, anything else, and fill it so it's about 2/3 full, and then we'll add the egg mixture. So we've placed all of our ingredients in the muffin tin pan. And now Bob will start with the eggs, and he'll fill it until it's halfway. That's perfect. Because the egg and the biscuit and the cheese, everything is gonna melt and get bigger. Perfect. And we don't want them to explode in the oven. So again, we have gluten-free, we have the can roll, and then we have no grain in those. Feel free to add your favorite veggies, the type of meat that works best for you, or no meat, any cheese. These are completely customizable, which is what I love. And he has a little bit of egg mix left, so he can add it to the ones where it looks a little empty. We just don't want to overfill them. And if you throw some eggs out, some of that mixture out, or you scramble it or something later, that's okay. We just don't want to overfill these guys. And maybe a little bit more in that one, so it's even. All right, so we're not wasting much. You can also add a little bit of cheddar cheese on top of each one to have it have a nice little finish to it, but that's again optional. These are all customized. One last thing I do before I put them in the oven is I just press down and make sure that the egg has gone to the bottom of the pan, especially the ones with the biscuits in it, because sometimes the biscuits need to be just pressed down a little bit so that it all cooks evenly. And with this English muffin one, for the gluten-free, I've never made it before, so I'm excited to see how it's gonna turn out, but I'm still just pressing it down a little bit. This one, I used the full muffin. That might be too much. We'll find out when it comes out of the oven, but this is the half muffin, and it looks a lot more like the rest of them, so I will let you know. And then we place our mixture in the stove. It's very, very, very hot, so don't touch the metal, don't touch the door on the inside. It's very hot. Close it up, and we'll set our timer for 20 minutes. And after 20 minutes, we'll check to see if they're done. But this whole time, I'm gonna stay near my oven, and I'm gonna turn on the oven light, and I'm going to watch it. Oh, and you can see my feet. I'm gonna watch it. So if they start to overflow, explode, anything, I'll be right here checking on them. So we just took these out of the oven. I'm gonna turn off the fan, and you can see some of them exploded up top like a muffin. Others just kind of came up in there. So to check and see if they're done, we're looking for any runniness of the egg. So I use a spatula. You don't want to use metal on metal because it scrapes. So if you have a spatula of any kind. So I check, and whoo, they come right out, but there's no runny yellow egg. So you know that it's done. And I'll flip that one back over in a second. I'm going to check that one. Yeah, that one's done. Flip that guy back over. Check this one. There's a little bit of sausage grease at the bottom, but they come right out. They're really nice pans. So these are all done. Yum!